Okay. Peace, everybody. This your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm waiting for my co-host to show up. But before she shows up, I'm going to tell you what this live stream is about. What does defending black women really mean? Um, of course, we all know about the slap heard around the world or singing around the world by Will Smith to Chris Rock. And this has been an interesting story for me because it has a lot of layers. A lot of layers to this story. People have used words like alopecia, disrespectful, insensitive, inappropriate, defending his wife's honor, free speech, censorship, comedy, what comedy, all this stuff, all these layers to what this story is all about. Oh, there she is.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hi.
You. How you doing?
Oh, it's Wednesday. And what do you do on Wednesdays?
After hump day, right?
Exactly. This ought to be interesting.
Um, all of these terms are used, but our question that we're going to address here, amongst other things, is
Hmm.
what was that slap for? Was it for Jada or was it for Will?
Yeah.
So
Because a
tonight
lot of,
we wait
sorry.
before you go.
Uh-huh.
Um, Tonight we're going to mix it up and do a deep dive on the many layers of brain dead takes, emotionalism, conflation, produced by this physical assault at the Academy Awards. Now,
Yes.
before you go, today's word for the week, not today, for the week, is conflation. Because I get the feeling that a lot of people don't know what that word is. Maybe they didn't learn it when they was in school, public school, graduate school, whatever. It doesn't seem like many people know anything about that word. But let me
Wait a
give the
minute.
definition.
Okay.
The merging of two or more sets of information, text, ideas into one. Let me repeat it again because sometimes people get. The merging of two or more sets of information, ideas, etc., into one. I'll get even more. Here it is. The act or process of combining two or more separate things into one whole, especially pieces of text or ideas. The term clean coal is a deliberate and misleading conflation of two very separate technologies. This is a great example of conflation and confusion of sources. So, I don't know how many people in the chat, or if there's anybody in the chat yet,
I don't see
but
anyone
how
yet.
many people does that define? Have I defined what conflation is properly? What do you say, Asiri?
Um, you're right that it's not a word that gets used in common practice. So the idea, like the concept, needs to be repeated over and over so people have an idea. Like, take the word separate. If you say the word separate, the common layperson understands what you mean by separate, right? To separate, to move aside, to categorize so that it's separate from something else. It's relative to something else. There's no um, fuzzy area. It's clear.
Hmm.
But the word conflating is one of those, a little bit of a $50 word maybe in some circles, and it's not used in common language. So the idea is what needs to be stressed because clearly that was involved in this event. And people need to understand what they're actually seeing. And rather than before you pick sides, like we need to get away from the black and white thinking of he's right, he's wrong, he's right, he's wrong. Like that is not giving you a clear picture. The right and wrong
Yeah.
thing is not going to ever give you a clear picture. You need to understand these layers, and layers, they come at you, you get one, you get another, and then you apply another. It takes time,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from different perspectives. So, yeah, conflating definitely was going on because, well, I guess you could say it's perceived, right? Because when let's break down communication 101. There's a sender, there's a receiver. You say something, if it's not clear to me, the onus may be on me to say, I didn't understand that. Can you clarify for me? But the onus can also be on you by watching my body language in response and saying, I don't think I made it clear enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, communication of that joke, I understand the joke, and I thought the joke was funny because there is a resemblance, obviously, with her shaved head. So I like a good joke like anybody else. I thought it was a good joke or whatever. It's similar to Chris's repertoire. But then when you communicate something, it has impact. And the impact is what happens when it hits meaning and it hits your belief and your values and your, on the receiving end. So I'm not justifying anybody's behavior. I'm just breaking down the activity that I saw. So she clearly didn't like the joke, but I didn't see a strong reaction because I thought her movements were tame.
Right.
So when Will jumped out of his seat now and beelined it for Chris, that's when I said, oh, no, performance.
Yeah.
Just by his body
Um,
language.
you know what I'm going to do, and I think this is the best place to do the best way to do this show. I want to start from just the raw feelings of what I was experiencing when I found out about it
Uh-huh.
before I get into the reason why I made conflation the word of the week. We were on the Discord Sunday and we were chatting as BIO members do every Sunday, like at 8 p.m. We get on there and we just kick it. We just talk about various subjects, vibe, communicate with each other,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. In the process of doing this, I got a text from Max611 from Independent on our Signal chat. And I'm looking at the text and I see the video in it and I see Will Smith walking up to Chris Rock and he slaps him or whatever. I just see him go to strike him. And then he walks back and he's smiling and Chris Rock is smiling. So I automatically think, well, this must be like a bit or something. That was my first initial reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Then when Will Smith got back to his seat, I heard him screaming before he got to the seat, and then he repeated what he said when he was at the seat even louder. And that's made me go, oh, wait a minute. Was that real?
Right.
So it took a while for me to process what was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
So all the people, and I say that to say that all the people who's getting on the Oscars and saying, well, why didn't they do this and why did they do that? I can understand them having the same reaction that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, when they interviewed him afterward, they said that was the reaction. They didn't know what the hell was going on. Like
Right.
nobody knew what was happening, and they didn't because if you know for sure, oh, this is an assault, he's got to go, then that's what they would have done. But the way that it played out, you couldn't really tell at the moment what was going on until Will Smith sat down, and then by then it's like, well, what was that? It's like
Mm-hmm.
he just threw a big fucking turd into the punch bowl of the
Right.
event. So I had to process it. I looked at it and processed it, and I had to work that night. And as I was working, I started feeling really bad. Like I felt, you know what I mean? I felt like this pit in the pit of my stomach, just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized what it was. I felt bad because I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really didn't follow this whole August, whatever his name is, Jada entanglement nonsense. I was really not into it. I know about it on a surface level because people were talking about it, but I didn't invest a whole lot of time into it. The only thing I know is that this guy was a friend of his son's, and he ended up sleeping with Jada, and Jada told him on the fucking. I think it was he told her. She told him about it on that Red Table show or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he found out about it because obviously he didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I
Right.
wrong? Okay.
No, something like that.
So that was, all of that was going on, and Will was getting clowned, and da 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 da. So when King Richard came out, and I saw King Richard, which, by the way, was my favorite film of the year, and when I saw the film after the film was over, I said Will Smith deserves an Oscar, and my cousin and other people who know me that I've had conversations with can vouch for me and vouch that I said that.
Mm-hmm.
So when the time came for him to get the Academy Award, I was proud of him because all of these people is doing all of this gossip and going back and forth, and in the meantime, Homeboy did what he does. He made a movie, killed it, and now he's going to win an Oscar for it. So I'm thinking this is be the ultimate payback on all the bullshit that he got before. And what did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do? He totally fucked his own moment.
Yep. That was his
And
moment.
because I liked Will Smith, I felt bad. I felt bad. Now, of course, automatically I feel bad for Chris Rock because Chris Rock is the victim of a whole bunch of other bullshit that has nothing to do with him or this fucking joke, which we will get into.
Right.
But what made me feel horrible was that I like Will Smith. I was proud that he was getting this Oscar, and the homeboy detonated, blew up his own moment.
Right.
And he has no one to blame. And I find it curious. These manosphere guys want to blame Jada for it.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that curious because I recall that the talking point in the manosphere is about responsibility. When women say, well, I did this because he did that, y'all the first one to say, well, that ain't got nothing to do with him. When you're going to take some personal responsibility? So how come you now all of a sudden you're going against your own talking point? So now Jada is the reason why Will did what he did? No, motherfucker. Will is the reason why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
All Jada did was roll her eyes and sit there. So she must be the
Mm-hmm.
most powerful person in the fucking world when she could get this guy to possibly tank his fucking movie career by jumping up and doing something stupid.
Yeah.
How about taking some personal responsibility and putting that all on Will's shoulders? You can think whatever the hell you want to about Jada, and trust me, I do. And a lot of people do. But that was him that made the decision to walk up there. That was not her.
Yeah, because the play-by-play, he was laughing at the joke initially, and he turned on a dime when he saw her reaction.
Right.
There's
And
only
whose
certain
fault
type
is
of
that?
people,
That's
and
his.
right, and there's only certain type of people that turn on a dime, and they're not, the best people of the group. They're people that we call narcissists. They will change their feelings in a heartbeat. And I don't know why that night, like that's why part of me feels like some of this is orchestrated. That's just my, I guess, conspiracy theory. But I'm thinking, Will's been in Hollywood for how long? He's been an A-lister for how long? He knows the game. He knows what's at stake. Remember how they reacted when with the Hollywood So White? They're a savvy media couple. So in that moment, he made that decision. I'm still not buying it. I don't think
I
that
am.
you think that this was He was in his right mind.
I sometimes things are hidden in plain sight. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. As a rule, I don't. It's like whenever what's that rule that they say, Arkham's razor or something.
Hmm.
That's what I believe, that we don't have to overcomplicate stuff. It is what it is most of the time. Most of the time, it's in plain sight. He My interpretation of what happened.
Hmm.
Will has been feeling, and we this goes way back. He's been talking about this feeling of inadequacy ever since he was talking about Tupac and Jada. Like
Mm.
Tupac is supposed to be the thug, the this, the bad boy, whatever, and he's the Will Smith, the mainstream happy-go-lucky guy.
Yeah.
That's how he saw himself compared to Tupac. So he's always had this insecurity about himself in relation to Jada.
Right.
Then you add this other stuff with this entanglement bullshit and this red table nonsense and all this other stuff. And he's sitting there, he's taking this stuff. He hears the joke, he laughs because that's what he's been doing. He's been laughing this stuff off. But then he turns to her, and that reaction triggered something in him.
Hmm.
And keep in mind, I'm not saying she controlled him, because that would be stupid. He's a grown ass man. He's supposed to be responsible for his fucking decisions. But what she did, that reaction that she gave, triggered him. And I feel he said, "Oh shit, this is my moment. This guy is trying to play me. He over
He overcompensated.
yeah, this guy's trying to play me, da 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 da, and I'm on the world stage. You're gonna talk about my wife, da 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 da." So he got up, walked over to Chris, slapped him, and sat back down. He put on and the reason why everybody thinks it's scripted is because that was a performance for Jada.
Yeah.
That's what that was. That was a
Yeah.
performance for his wife.
Hmm.
So he did that, and he doubled down on it when he sat down. Because Chris was
Right.
like, "Yo, dude, it was a GI Jane joke.
Yeah. It
Keep
was tame.
my wife fucking da 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 da." That's my
Because
interpretation of things, like how that
yeah,
event went.
yeah, and the reason why I think the joke was tame is there was an earlier joke by Regina Hall, and she was making fun of Jada co-signing Will to be an eligible bachelor because she was calling up eligible bachelors onto the
Right,
stage. That was her joke.
right.
And what, because I remember she called up Bradley Cooper,
Hmm.
and they cut to, all of a sudden she cuts to them and she says, "Oh, Will, you come on up on the stage too. Jada's already signed off on it."
Hmm.
So I thought it was in the same vein as Chris's joke. It wasn't, it was mildly, what's the word? You know, a little dig, but it wasn't a big insult.
It wasn't an insult at all. And this is the thing. All right, now we can get into it. I've been dying to get into this. What's bothering me and what annoys me is how people will conflate something and then act as if the conflation is fact. I don't know how many times I've seen on televisions people say Chris Rock, who made a joke about his wife's alopecia. That's not true. That is a conflation of what actually happened. And I did
Right.
a short video that y'all could check out on my channel before this, but I'll repeat it because it was short. This is really simple. What was the joke? Jada, love you, Jada. Can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. That was the joke. Nothing about alopecia, nothing about disrespect, nothing about, oh, I'm playing you. None of that is, all of that is stuff that you guys are interpreting what he's saying and then acting as if your interpretation is reality.
Right.
What I go by is facts. What was the actual joke? The joke was what I said. I love you, Jada. Can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. Now, there's ways that joke can be interpreted. Some people
Hmm.
can interpret that joke as, oh shit, she's making fun of her short hair because she has alopecia, da 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 da. oh, he's disrespecting Will in front of his, it's disrespecting her in front of Will and disrespecting his wife and da 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 da. That can be one take. That's one interpretation. You know what the other interpretation is? And nobody has talked about this because people in the audience at the Oscar have said this. When he made the comparison to G.I. Jane, they said, oh, wow, I was thinking the same thing. G.I. Jane is a badass.
Right.
Did anybody see the movie? And here's another thing. Why does everybody think that a joke has to always be an insult?
Well, there's that saying, a lot of true words are spoken in jest.
Right.
If you want to insult somebody, you try to morph it into a joke and everybody laughs. But people know the difference of when you're laughing with me versus when you're laughing at me. Nobody wants to be the butt of a joke. But in the context of where they are in Hollywood at the Oscars, in that room, everybody was fair game because they know that's the setup with the host, especially
But all
Chris
right, I'll
Rock.
give you an example. Mike Tyson has been in the audience when people have made jokes and people will joke on Mike Tyson. But what's the joke? How Mike Tyson will fuck you up. That's the joke.
Pretty much.
Now, that's not an insult. Is it? They're actually
No.
giving him, but you know what I'm saying? So why do people think that just because you joke on somebody, that it's automatically a disrespect or an insult? He was
Well,
comparing her to a badass female character who had the same look that she did. That was it. You don't have to go any further or any deeper than that.
hmm
But let's just say, for devil's advocate, that's just an interpretation, which it is. It
right.
is. It's an interpretation just like the other one. Which one is the right interpretation and which one is the wrong interpretation?
Yeah, but see, we'll
If
never know.
we're being honest with each other as adults, which one
Yeah.
is the right one and which one is the wrong one? Can anybody answer that for me?
Yeah, we'll never know because we don't know what was going through Jada's mind, why she reacted the way she reacted. Because, like I said, everybody in the room seemed to be laughing at the joke, thought it was a joke, including her husband. But she had some upturned face about it. So that tells me something was going on with Jada.
No, but
And
I want to address this particularly because there's some place I'm going with this.
uh-huh.
Whose interpretation is correct? The person who thought that it was an insult or the person who thought it was a compliment? Whose one
Yeah,
is
but
right and whose is wrong?
and see, this is where you're getting into intention, and it's hard to prove intent,
No, no, no.
right?
I'm not even getting into Chris Rock's intent. I'm talking about the interpretation from the audience of the joke. Who's right in that scenario and who's wrong?
Hmm.
Nobody, right? Because we don't know. It's subjective,
Right.
like all jokes.
hmm
So if it's subjective, if we don't know what his intentions was, we don't know, like just because you interpret it that way, did he actually mean it that way? Then how in the world does that justify this man jumping up out of his seat and going and physically assaulting that man? I don't understand how mature adults can think that that's acceptable. And then to try to paint it as if, oh, well, he was defending his wife. First of all, let's talk about that.
hmm
If I go to a water park and I get wet, do I get offended?
Okay, that's
So,
simple.
it's just like, if I go to a comedy show or an award ceremony, which have comedians, so it's basically a comedy show by default, and I get joked on, where does the disrespect come in? Oh, he was
Right.
talking about my wife. Yeah, nigga, he was talking about everybody's wife, and he was talking about everybody. I
I
remember Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
okay, all I'm saying is feelings, I mean feelings, what are they? They're not concrete, they're not real, but clearly there were feelings going on, and I think it's related to what you mentioned earlier about Will feeling inadequate because of the type of man that Jada likes. And maybe that's a current that's running in their marriage all this time, that he could never be a Tupac. And like you said, he took that moment to show that he could defend her. He could be the alpha male, because maybe he only plays alpha male on the screen and he's not that way in their intimate relationship. Clearly there's some type of rift in their intimate relationship, because it's playing out on the stage, on the world stage now.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. I'm gonna comment on that, but I don't want to go there because that's going to take it somewhere else. But basically, what was I getting ready? I was getting ready to make a point about something. Go ahead, because I forgot. Go ahead, say what you were going to say, because I forgot what I was.
I wanna take. There's a comment in the chat that I want from Supra79.
Can you highlight it?
Yep.
That one?
Yeah. About the Manchurian Candidate.
Oh wait, Manchurian Candidate. Hold on.
From Supra79.
That one? The one on the screen right now?
Nope. Supra79.
Candidate. Isn't that it? Supra79, Manchurian Candidate, Ironic Denzel, who was in that movie, had to clean him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it on the screen.
Okay. So yeah, that's something I thought of also. I thought that was interesting that Denzel, was there to add his commentary after the slap had happened. Because I think that's one of the themes that was there. If anybody has watched it, obviously some of our audience has watched that movie and they were thinking along the same lines. Somebody's pulling Will's strings. He's being puppeteered. And the reason I say that is just a week earlier, we saw another Black man under performance, not defending, but affirming a Black woman. And that was Cory Booker. And watching that, everybody could see that was this over performance. Why are you doing that in that room at that moment? You could affirm her, but he laid it on thick. And I was wondering, why are you doing that? This woman clearly has credentials, clearly has come to the table prepared. She is demure, she's quiet, she's not loud. And it just rubbed me the wrong way to see in that moment how he was using it and applying performance. It was so obvious. And that's why I'm wondering, a part of me does feel like, this stuff is scripted, because how likely is it a week apart? And now they say all the world is a stage. Wasn't it Shakespeare that wrote that? All of a sudden, we have it in politics. Now we have it from Hollywood. Slapped upside the head, both sides. Why am I seeing this? And this is how they orchestrate things. It doesn't look like an orchestration. We can't prove it's an orchestration, but it is. They use suggestion, a lot of suggestion, just like advertisers do, just like marketers do. So the thing that I take away from this is, I don't live in Hollywood, I live in the real world. What do we need to do in the real world? Because this is really about us. This isn't about actors. These are actors. All of these people are actors, even the politicians. They're actors. We have to live with the mess. And there were so many layers to this. You've got the fame worship, the respectability politics. You've got these conversations that have been happening in social media, high value men, high value women. And then all of a sudden, here is the last of the Trinity that needs to be at. This is the Trinity right here. High value man conversation, the Kevin Samuels of the world. Then you have high value women conversations on all over YouTube. And now we have the defending black women. That's the Trinity right there. That's the core. I've heard and seen comments on Twitter about Jada runs the marriage. She wears the proverbial pants. Will is a little girl who accepts realities that few would. Toxic masculinity. Then there's was he doing that for himself, protecting his own masculinity, or was he doing it for Jada? Who was the performance for?
The performance was for Jada for himself. That's what it was.
Explain.
He did it to put on a show for her, but it was for him, so that he can show the world that I'm not no punk. I'm just as hardcore, and I'm a thug like it. I'm for Philly, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that was. It was a and the reason why people think it's scripted is because it was a performance. It doesn't mean that somebody wrote a script out. It was a performance. He put on a performance.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody think that it's a script. I'm not one of those people to believe that everything is scripted, because I don't believe that. Like, first of all, I don't believe that the average, like, that people organize well. I really don't. I think that most of the time, you can create the context for something to happen, the fertile soil for something to happen. And I believe that that's what this was. I think it was an overreaction. I think he tanked his moment. But there's a couple of things that I want to touch on. One of them is the strong black woman thing.
Oh.
And let's touch on that. If we are going to say that Jada Smith cannot take jokes, that we cannot joke about her in any way, shape, or form, but everybody else can be joked on, then can we eliminate this whole black men and black women and equality and all this bullshit is off the fucking table, because you're not the same. There is no equality. Just say it. Because if a man was to get up there and say, listen, I don't appreciate you making fun of my weight because I have a thyroid condition and I know you know that, so that's very insensitive of you to make fun of no man would say that shit. Men just take the shit. People get joked on and they take it. People trying to act like Jada Smith is some fucking wilting flower that needs to be protected. She can't take a goddamn joke, and I don't give a shit. Listen. When now all of a sudden alopecia is a thing, they treating it like it's fucking cancer. So how many men who have male pattern baldness was anybody treating it like that? Nobody was treating it like that. Now all of a sudden, because it affects her, and let's be real about it, because I know sisters that have alopecia and they call in bullshit. That's the reason why I feel so confidently saying this, because I've spoken to sisters who really have that condition. And they think that Jada Smith is full of shit. And I can show you the pictures of her hair loss. It's a strip going across the top of her head. That's where she's losing her hair. She's not losing her hair all over her fucking head.
Right.
So why are we acting like we're talking about a cancer patient and Chris Rock was making fun of her chemo treatments?
Well, I want to respond to that whole, the strong black woman and all of that stuff, right? Because I mean, this has been piling up for hundreds of years, where I think black women in our community have had to take on roles that they, didn't naturally do. And the stress clearly is there because a lot of black women are rejecting that title because they've paid a price, right? They've had to take on more than their share, be the man and the woman to raise their kids, be mother and father, or work to the bone, and it's led to stress, and it's led to not being recognized. It's led to um, people not treating us as a human being, as just this workhorse, or as invisible, like they don't see our pain. And I think it's mounted over decades now. And a lot of
Mhm.
women are rejecting it, and so they should, because it doesn't really apply. You're a human being at the end of the day. We need connection. We need bonding. We need a partner in our lives. We can't just do it alone. This whole do it alone thing that was sold to us. I know, my generation, definitely that was sold to us, that you can do it alone. You don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 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 yeah. That, I think all of that was good for the intent behind it was to make women more, I guess, less dependent financially, because that was not the best scenario. But yeah, a lot of women are seeking their own agency. And I think Jada has personified that. I think where she went wrong is when you're going through your healing moments and all of that, you got to do that privately. You can't be putting all of that stuff out there, because here's the thing: she started this red table and she's talking about other people's lives. And if you're talking about other people's lives, at some point people are going to say, well, you're not sharing, you're just talking about us all the time. You got to share and be authentic and be transparent, those keywords. And it would have been asked for her to be more transparent. So I think she was kind of in a situation where she's damned if she did, damned if she doesn't, with that red table talk, because where else could she go but be more transparent? So she brought along Gammy and she brought along her daughter. It wasn't just her at the table, if you notice. And it just kept, which happens in Hollywood, building and building and building until the whole family was exposed.
Well,
And I
see,
think it's the exposure, too much exposure.
but that's what I call a self-inflicted wound. And my thing is, I have no problem with them doing that. Like I can have an opinion about it, but really doesn't matter. If that's what she wants to do, if they want to put their stuff out for public consumption, fine. My only issue is this: do not play like you a victim. Don't play like, oh, everybody's picking on me and they're taking their shots. Y'all put your you put your private life out for public consumption. What the hell did you think was going to happen? And in his infinite wisdom, he decides that he's going to go up there and do the stupid shit that he did. Well, guess what? Now you're going to be clowned by comedians forever.
Yeah.
Jada didn't do that. You did it. And I got my issues with Jada because, and I told you, I think we spoke about this in a private conversation. This whole alopecia warrior shit is Jada Pinkett is a bored celebrity wife who's virtue signaling. She has nothing else to do. She's bored, and now she's taken upon some cause to make her feel so great about herself. She's full of shit. And I, for one, don't give a shit about her feelings on a joke. I'm not even buying that. I'm not playing that game. If that was Ricky Gervais up there, you now Ricky Gervais would have made fun of her alopecia.
That's true. I
He
think
would
that's
have done
true.
it.
Yeah, because the sad part is, like, I don't it seems like we're weak when it comes to, people making fun of us, or our community is seemingly under attack sometimes.
Mhm.
So hence why some of us may come across as weak. And I think Jada and Will embodied that. And that lesson is there, where too much exposure isn't doesn't lead to anything good. And that's one of the lessons of this tragedy is you can't live that life. There's nothing good that's or fruitful that's going to come out, because if you notice what they're doing with Red Table now, she has now got Gloria Estefan and her family in Miami doing a Red Table, And they're a more conservative family, if you notice. They're like, the opposite of the Smiths. So they've obviously had to do a shift with that program because keeping that their family as, I guess, the representative, not everybody jives with that openness and that laissez-faire, do as you please. We're not going to follow traditional values. Not everybody's vibing with that. There are still people that are staunch traditionalists. And those staunch traditionalist voices are going to bring, I guess, the moral question, or the how could you question, the judgment, the moral issues, or all of that stuff that we were taught, right? And again, not saying right or wrong, I'm just saying it is a fact. But the thing that, as a female, that bothered me about the situation is, women have to be careful about the things that they ask men to do. And you could send a man to his death, right? And this is a prime example of, sometimes women play that, oh, I'm a damsel in distress, when you ain't in distress. Like, you could handle your business. You got to be careful with the power that you wield. And maybe she could have said something to him, or whisper, hey, not now, this is not time and place, or something to call him back. Because if you look at, I'm just going to take from history, women have sent men to their death. You got, it's happened in the Bible, but in more recent times, that woman that complained about Emmett Till sent him to his death based on a lie. And for women, that's one of the greatest lessons that you need to be careful of in a relationship with a man, is that yes, a man has that instinct that he will protect. He will protect his children. He'll protect his woman. But you can't be sending him out there on some bullshit, because you could be sending him to his death.
And this is the reason why I think the good part about this is that the guys online can get to see just what type of women there are out there. Because every woman who was starry eyed and thought that Will Smith he was defending his wife, y'all better run as far away from those women as you can. Because trust me, those are the type of women that's going to get your ass killed. And they'll do it for their own ego and their own satisfaction. They don't give a shit about you. You can fucking die. Who cares? Just go out there. Just go out there for my ego, so it can gratify me and make me feel like I'm. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's like it's two-sided, because a man can put a woman in jeopardy in so many ways, right? If he doesn't protect her. But also, a woman can put a man in jeopardy. And this is a prime example where you can't send him out on bullshit. You got to make sure that if he's going to use his protective instincts, it's got to be worth something. It's got to be definitively you are at risk, you are at trouble, you need help. They could have had a conversation with Chris behind closed doors, after the show, whatever, man to man, blah, blah, blah. Keep it off the stage. But now you're attending the Oscars. This is a potential night for you to win, your big night. This is not the time for you to be going up on the stage like Kanye West did. And he literally reduced himself. And for Jada, she should have pulled him back, or at least there should be something in that relationship that, is like a warning bell that says, hey, we go out on a limb for this, that, and the other. We don't go out on a limb for some minuscule BS. We go out there for things that matter to you and I. But it's clearly highlighting what's going on in that relationship. There's been a rift in that relationship, some kind of unsettlement where they're not happy with each other. They may have chosen to be together, but they're not happy with each other. You can't convince me of that.
My coworker he used to say that if his mother had a problem in the street and somebody or the issue with somebody, he would take care of that immediately. If his wife has an issue, he'd ask what happened. I'm just putting that out there. Um, hey, he kept it real.
Well,
Um, let's talk about some more conflation. Um, one of the things that I'm seeing, and I put up a post on Facebook, and I want to read it. Um, I said I never realized there was so many knuckle dragging, mouth breathing, fake alpha wannabe tough guys on Facebook. I'm sitting there looking at my timeline, and dudes just like, yo, these modern men is pussy. Yo, I would have fucking fucked that nigga up. I'll fuck up anybody. Duh, 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 duh. I'm sitting there going, first of all, you guys are not alpha males because you're too goddamn emotional. If it was an alpha male and then we got some alpha males in the chat room. We got some alpha males in the chat room, but I'll let you speak for yourself. I'll tell you what I would have did. If now keep in mind, I know that I'm at a comedy show, so I wouldn't have behaved like him anyway. I wouldn't have got offended, and I probably wouldn't be with a female that was offended by jokes. So I'll just preface by this: I'm kind of placing myself in Will Smith's mind and his, the whole scenario that he painted in his head. So just say that this is not me. This is how I would react as Will Smith. If my wife, he says the joke and my wife has a negative reaction to the joke, what I would do is I would reach my hand over and touch on her leg, look at her and say, I got this, babe. That's it. Calm down. I got it.
mhm.
To let her know, I see you. I see you were offended. Da da da. I acknowledge that. Let your man handle it. Sit in my chair, listen for the rest, laugh, ha ha, he he, whatever. Accept my Oscar, say absolutely nothing about it, laugh how he make, be inspirational and all this other stuff and whatever. After the awards are over, I'll walk behind, to where the talent goes from off the stage in the back and ask to speak to Chris. And say, Chris, I gotta talk to you. And we go into a separate room and we have a conversation. Now keep in mind, I did not say I'm going to fuck him up. I didn't say I'm going to slap him. I said I'm going to tell him we need to talk. Go to another room separate from anybody else, a small room, and we'll have a conversation. Now, two things is going to happen. I'm going to tell him this is what happened, son. My wife is offended by it. What's the deal? What did you mean by that joke? He's either going to correct the situation or he's going to say, fuck you, I said what I said. And then we take it from there. But do you see all of the steps that went with somebody who's not emotional?
Yeah.
That's how alpha men handle shit. Now, if there's anybody who disagrees with that, please put it in the chat room. Because it sounded to me like the same guy talking about beating niggas up and fuck. It sounds like some emotional bitches to me. That's what it sounds like to me.
Jada, like they've been together long enough that she knows her man. And what I'm saying is she would know his triggers. And she should have gave him the side eye to say, not now, this is not time and place. Because it looks like Will easily gets hot-headed.
I hear what you're saying. I am not going to do that. I hear it. I'm not giving him a pass. And I'm not putting it on. See,
no, I'm not trying to give him a pass.
No, we're saying that she did something that triggered his behavior. I'm not giving him a pass.
Yeah, I'm not giving him a pass. Here's where I'm coming from. If two of us are in it's very simple. Two of us are in the boat and the boat's sinking. One of us got to be able to save the other or save, both of us. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm coming from. The two of them are in this relationship. They've been in this
Oh, yeah,
relationship over
yeah,
20
definitely
years.
then. If that's what you're saying, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, she should have done something in that
something.
situation. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
Exactly.
that. But ultimately, she's not responsible for his reaction and how he reacted.
No, I
That's what I'm saying.
definitely not. Because I
Yeah,
mean,
Mark Tackett agrees.
he had his own agency. He decided to get up there, and then he sat down and he decided to verbalize. That was a verbal assault, what he said, really.
Yeah. I think what and this is coming, and I think, I got a bunch of people who's from my neighborhood and from my area in this group. I think that what the problem is that, and especially with people like Will Smith, and it's the same issue with a lot of these guys who get into the hip hop game or whatever. They're fascinated by street dudes, but they're not street dudes.
Right. They grew up in the
I
suburbs.
know I'm not a street dude. I think most of my friends, well, I won't say most. I have friends that are street dudes, but we like. All right, I'll take for instance my inner circle, like Mark, um, Rodney, and my cousin, and all of them. We we come from the streets, but we're not street kids.
Hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like we've been around it. We've been around gangsters. We've been around the whole drug dealing and all that stuff. But that's not our reality. We had families. We had mothers and fathers, and we grew up in a house, basically living like a middle class life.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do not have to prove myself to somebody. I don't have to fucking do that. I don't understand why Will Smith, by all accounts, is, if you were to take this definition of a high value man that everybody keeps talking about right now, who is Will Smith checks all the boxes. And let's keep it real. Who the fuck is Jada Pinkett if not for Will Smith? If Jada Pinkett was, Jada Pinkett is delusional enough to think that she's the fucking prize. She should be thanking her God that she's with Will Smith. Because if she wasn't with Will Smith, she'd be just another black B actress.
Yeah, she wasn't an A-lister. I
What
mean,
has she done? You're right. She's not no A-list actress.
no, the best she's done was The Matrix.
But instead of her looking at Will like, this guy, I am the luckiest woman in the world to be with this dude, she's comparing him to Tupac. And this is no diss to Tupac. No
Right.
diss to Tupac, because they're two different people. But I'm sitting here going, look at the shit that this guy has accomplished. Look at how talented this guy is. Look at who
Right.
he is. Look at his status in the world. And yet he's walking around thinking he's a second-class citizen to you?
Because she doesn't appreciate him.
But what does he appreciate himself? Like, how is he looking at himself? Fuck
Yeah.
Jada Smith. Nobody wants to say that. I'll say it. Fuck Jada Smith. You mean to tell me Will Smith can't do better than Jada Smith? Or Jada Pinkett, I should say. He can't do better than that?
She does not appreciate him because I've listened to her story and I remember when they were first dating before they got married. Because I watched them. They were on Oprah. I don't know if anybody in the audience remembers that. They were on Oprah and he was sweeping her off her feet and it seemed like she was just going along with it, but she wasn't really present of mind to say, yes, he's my choice. I like this
But
guy.
see, that's the thing that I have an issue with. That is delusion on a level that I can't even comprehend. You're a B or C list actress. B or C list actress. You are not an A-lister. If you were not attached to Will Smith, nobody would know who the hell you even are. On a mainstream level, nobody would know who the hell she even is. She should be down on her hands and knees, thanking God that this guy still wants to be with her, or that loves her. But like I said, this is the problem. Will Smith doesn't know. People talk about her. Will Smith doesn't know his own value.
Right.
And she's lucky. She's lucky. He doesn't know his own value. He actually thinks that he's playing second fiddle to her. He thinks that he can't possibly live up to Jada Pinkett's demands of what a man should be. And he's fucking crazy because, first of all, just objectively, Will Smith can get anybody he wants.
Because you can see it. He is trying to live up to whatever there's some dissatisfaction that Jada has going on, but it's not to do with Will, it's to do with herself.
They're both
The woman,
damaged.
yeah.
She's damaged and he's damaged. So I guess they make a good couple.
Well, he's been open about his abusive father and that environment that he grew up in as well. And I think when you look at abused kids, they still suffer from I'm not good enough and self-worth issues and self-esteem issues. So I could see why he is at this stage in his life. They're in their 50s. He's still trying to prove to her, am I good enough? Do you accept me now? You know what I
That
mean?
is crazy.
That's what's going
That
on
is
there.
crazy. This guy, other than The Rock, like Will Smith and The Rock have been making like $20 million films. Like Will Smith hasn't as of late, but he was in that category where he could demand $20 million a flick.
Yeah.
He's an A-list celebrity,
And that's a big, huge feat to accomplish as a black man.
right? An A-list celebrity, and he can't live up to the expectation of some B and C-list black actress. Really? And I'm just keeping it real, man. I know he said calm down, Holip. I'm not cursing it out. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real, man, because I'm seeing so much people pussyfooting and handling her with kid gloves. Fuck her.
Yeah, I
I'm
get it.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to treat Jada Pinkett any different than anybody else.
I think they should have divorced a long time ago because they're of this mindset that, well, we're going to stick it out together because, Will said back then when they were on Oprah, no, we're not getting divorced. So, but look at what you're in. This shit
Erica,
needs to be blown up.
let's keep it real. Do you think she really wants to leave Will
No, I'm not
Smith?
talking about her. I'm talking about Will. Like, it's not working. The whole relationship's not working. They're not bringing out the best in each other. That's what a relationship should do. Bring out the best in each other.
Jada doesn't care about bringing out the best in each other. Jada cares about bringing out whatever works for Jada. Jada's totally satisfied. That thing that went on, she's probably feeling real good about herself. She's probably
Sad.
feeling real good about herself. Did Jada Pinkett? What did Jada Pinkett do when the whole world was laughing at her husband? I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
to me, it's obvious she has zero respect for this dude. What did she do when the whole world was laughing at him? When the whole
Yeah.
world thought that he was getting clowned? What would a good wife had done who really loved and cared about her husband at that? What would she have done? Are there any sisters in the chat room? If the world thinks that your man is a clown, how would you? And you have a big ass microphone that you can handle that. What would you do about it? What did Jada do? Jada was fucking mute.
That's true.
She didn't do nothing.
Yeah. She didn't come out. She didn't show up.
So, as far as I'm concerned, Will Smith is getting exactly what he deserves. He's getting exactly what he deserves.
Sad. It's kind of
And it's
sad,
sad. It
man.
is. That's why I
It
said at the
is.
beginning of the show, I felt bad because I really wanted this guy to win and hold that Oscar up against all those people taking shots at him. But what did he do? He actually gave those people more ammunition against him.
Yeah. Because, I understand him standing up for his masculinity because at some point, after all the ridicule, because the ridicule has been going on for a couple years, it's just intensified in the last 3 years. So at some point,
Oh,
a person's going to break. And I think that he reached his breaking point. That's what we saw.
this is what her idea of. Can you imagine, fellas, your wife having an interview in front of the world? She's sitting up there watching. Oh, I mean, I really prefer a big dick, but hey, I mean, we can't always get what we want.
Damn, you got to go there.
We can't always get what we want. I mean, basically, We can't, I sometimes, oh man, I wanted to feel, I was feeling bad for so long. I mean, I wanted to feel so good for a change. God damn it. So that's why I did what I mean, could you this is embarrassing. That's
Yeah.
that's what you call that's somebody that respects their man.
Yeah. She ain't respecting Will. There's no way she has respect for Will. Because
So
I mean,
I can't, man. I can't see because one of the things that I think that we need to do is we need to let people know that you're driving the car for your own life. It's you behind the wheel.
yeah.
I don't. I am not going to give other people um power over your decisions. If that's you doing that, I'm going to assume it's you. I'm not going to say, "Oh, well he was manipulated. Oh, she's controlling him like a puppet man." No, fuck that. You are making those decisions to do that shit. And only you can stop it. Will Smith knows what he needs to do. Will Smith is too much of a punk to do it.
Well,
He
he
knows what
set
he
the
needs to
rule.
do.
He set the rule from 20 years ago. Here's another place where he sabotaged himself. We're not getting divorced. I'm like, well, look at y'all now. Maybe you should. Maybe
The
you
mere
should get
fact,
divorced.
think about it. We have a show on talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's relationship. I wonder why that happened. Why are we even in a position now where we can have a show talking about them? Why did that even happen? It's because they did it. This is a self-inflicted wound. So don't come to me with this victim bullshit. I don't care. And to get back to this joke, because everybody, I'm going to reiterate. The joke was, I love you, Jada. Can't wait for G.I. Jane 2. That was the joke. There was
Yeah,
nothing in there about alopecia. There was nothing there about disrespect. All of that is stuff that you guys are adding to and interpreting and spinning to fit whatever narrative you want to put out there.
right.
But if you look at the joke itself, in other words, facts over feelings, everybody keeps saying, what are the facts? The facts is the joke was, love you, Jada. Can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. That's
I
what
know.
Chris Rock said.
Yeah,
So don't give me your conflated opinion or perspective and then act as if that's a fact.
yeah. I mean, I'll keep going back to the whole, I don't want to make it one-sided. The woman has a responsibility to her man, just like the man has a responsibility to the woman, right?
Hmm.
So it's not one-sided. You could, the man naturally has that instinct to protect, but even though he does that, the woman has to be careful not to wield that power in the wrong way and sending him off to futile events, things that don't matter. It's got to be a major issue before
Hmm.
I would get my man involved, because we are modern women. Modern women have agency. We fought for that. We can communicate. We don't have to ask permission to speak. We can do for ourselves financially. Um, so we have better agency than our grandmothers did. And likewise, it works the other way too. A man has that natural protective instinct. And if I don't feel that coming from him, then I'm sitting here wondering, well, am I with a man? So we have responsibilities to each other. That's what a relationship helps you to flourish. Like I don't know how people get into relationships, because people, my view of relationships is you're getting in there to be better. Isn't that what a relationship's supposed to help you do? Be better?
See, but
I
you're
just don't
assuming
see
that
it.
two people are trying to have a functional relationship. Jada Pinkett is a narcissist. She's an extreme narcissist because she can't even she is such a powerful narcissist that she's able to warp his perspective.
Yeah.
That is some powerful shit. Where you're sitting up there as a B and C list actress who is with the number one, well, one of the top, the biggest stars in Hollywood, and he's thinking, "Damn, I can't. I wish. I don't know how I can live up to her. Who the who is the kid? Who is she? Who the fuck is Jada Smith? She's nobody.
Well, sh
If it was not for Will Smith, we would not know who Jada Smith is.
yeah, she is something to Will. Clearly, Jada matters to Will. So
That's
let's look
it.
at that kind of relationship. He is so enamored with her. You can see he still has a commitment to her. So
She
even
put
though
it on
he
him. She put it on him. That's the only thing she put it on. She put some shit on his young ass that he never experienced before. She must have had that clapper or something.
oh, good God.
That must be what it is. She put something on him because he is totally delusional. He's delusional right with her. He has entered into her delusion.
Well, he defends her on stupid shit. That's what I'm looking at. It's like I can understand a big threat, but that wasn't a big threat.
And you know what else is deep? Not only is she deluding Will, she's going out. It's like a virus. She's deluding other people because people out here are online saying, oh, "Chris should have known she's struggling with alopecia." Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but look at what Chris is coming. All of a sudden now we find out Chris has been got his own mental health issues.
He's struggling with alopecia. Don't you? Why are we acting as if hair loss is like cancer? How many men? Don't you know that that's called alopecia for men too? It's just that they call it male pattern baldness.
Right.
Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Am I making a controversial statement when I say that? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about male pattern baldness. No one. Don't lie to me get in that chat room and lie to me and say, well, you know, that's a really deep issue for me. I'm so concerned about men losing their hair. But now all of a sudden, the whole world got to stop because she got a strip of hair coming out the top of her head.
No.
Oh man, this girl,
J
this trick has triggered me, man. This whole and
yeah.
then all of these people defending her and act as if Chris Rock was the bad guy.
No. I don't think
What did
Chris
Chris Rock do? What did he do, Erica? What did he do?
I don't think
What
he was
did
the
he do?
bad guy. They
He
they were
was a
saying,
comedian at a
yeah,
fucking award ceremony. And what does he do? What do you do at an award ceremony? You tell jokes and you take the piss out of celebrities.
yeah.
That's what you do.
I thought
What's his
Ricky
name?
Gervais stuff was
He
way worse than what Chris said.
he swings a way harder mallet. Way harder mallet. Chris Rock too at times can be, but not as hard as Ricky Gervais.
No.
Ricky Gervais called Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, made a joke about how Apple uses slave labor overseas in front of his face.
Exactly.
I told you the joke. Patrice O'Neal said a joke in front of, it was a couple in front of him, a young couple. And he was talking about, I like, you know, I can sleep with older women, but 20, it's just something about 20. He said, I won't wait for 40, 40-year-old, but I'll wait for that 20-year-old. And he said, how many women in the audience is 20? And he counted the women and he said, you see how she raised her hand? She's like 20. Yay! And he said, man, I bet your pussy tastes like hope. And he said this in front of the girls, dude. So doesn't that show you? I told you about this. We had this conversation. Pete Davidson's father died at 9/11. When they were roasting Pete Davidson, there were 9/11 jokes about his father.
Mm.
Listen, you don't go to a water park and get mad when you get wet. Don't go to a comedy club and get offended. If
You
you're an
know what?
offended person, don't go to a comedy club. Don't go
Right.
to a setting where you have comedians in control of anything because you're gonna get clowned.
Right. But here's okay. Can I play devil's advocate for a sec?
You
Because
can
I
try.
think I
You
think
can try.
I just got why Will got up. Chris's joke, I'm not saying he said it, but here's the meaning, the subtext that could be taken, the interpretation. G.I. Jane, or that was the movie, G.I. Jane?
Yeah.
Okay. She's going in, she's taking on male characteristics. I totally missed that in all of this. So he's making a parallel.
Wait, are
Because
you saying that that's what he was intending to do?
no, I'm not saying intention. I'm saying people you know how there could be 10 of us in the
Oh,
room.
okay. You're talking about people's interpretation of it.
People's
Okay, yeah.
interpretation. This is one interpretation that I haven't seen people talking about, which is G.I. Jane was taking on masculine traits. She went into the military, she shaved her head, she was up against all the males because it wasn't just the military. I believe it was Navy SEALs.
Yeah, that's what she was going for.
Right. So here she was, a female in a male dominated industry, trying to compete with males. People in the room could have had that interpretation. Hence why Will had to rise from his seat, because now, if he was aware of it on some level, he had to defend his manhood. It was an
Well, now you're
imperative.
getting. Well, wait a minute. Now you're getting into him coming up with that scenario. That I don't know. That seems like a stretch to me. But for him to draw that conclusion, that's the reason. I don't think it was that deep. Like I said, everything is hidden in plain sight.
Mhm.
I don't think that was a very deep anything. There was nothing deep. There was nothing conspiratorial about what happened. It was pure emotionalism and a mental breakdown.
Mhm.
That's all it was. It was a pure emotionalism and a mental breakdown. And then what really is funny and tragic is that people are online defending the breakdown.
Yeah.
Defending the breakdown. Oh, he stood up for his like that freaking jackass. What's her name? Tiffany Haddish. Who I think the verdict is in. She's not a comedian.
Yeah.
That's the verdict is in. Because there's no way you would be a comedian to defend what Will Smith did. Because universally he's getting clowned by every comedian.
Yeah.
And of course, the ones who's punks is playing that line. Oh well, he didn't have to make that joke. Yeah, come on. Chris Rock did nothing wrong. And then I was having an argument with somebody, not an argument, but discussion with some dude on Facebook, and we were going back and forth. He said, "Well, oh, thank you. This reminded me. This is another conspiracy.
Let's
Oh,
hear it.
Chris Rock went at them and disrespected them in 2016. So this was a build up from 20. Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Chris Rock was on an award show doing the Oscars in 2016. He made a joke about what Jada Pinkett because Jada Pinkett did the Oscars so white thing. Of course he was going to make a joke about it because it was in the news. That's what
Right.
comedians do. He wasn't going at her. Why do people not understand how comedy works? Why are we now pretending as if we don't know how comedians work and how comedy works or how any of this stuff works? This is brand new to everybody now, right? So when a comedian tells a joke, he's going at you and he's doing all this other stuff and he's disrespecting you. So when you go to a comedy show and you get joked on by the comedian is disrespecting you. So when you go to the water park and you get wet, the water's disrespecting you, right? Right? That's how this goes. Come
Well,
on, man. It's
yeah, I know. Conflation.
conflation. Oh,
And
this is like a conflation party going on.
because we do it in everyday life, and it's become the reflex. Let me just conflate to my narrative, right? Because there's a
Yeah.
narrative for everything.
All of this backstory. Do you realize how many celebrities are in that audience? So Chris Rock is supposed to have this Rolodex in his mind. Let me not say this because Jada Pinkett Smith she's dealing with alopecia. Do you really think, for any intelligent person, I want to ask you this: do you think that it was Chris Rock's intention to disrespect Jada Pinkett Smith?
No, I don't think it's his intention. I think it's a lot of this is from the interpretations, how it could be looked at, how like you said, if she's a real narcissist, she's going to be concerned about her image. Image is her number
Intention.
one priority.
Intention, meaning he went up there with the intent. I'm going to make a joke about her alopecia condition. Do you really seriously think that? He made the tamest joke possible. That joke was so tame.
Oh, I agree
Oh,
with you.
she's saying that he didn't write the joke. Now, how do we now? Is that backed up by something? Because that's very important too.
Who wrote the joke?
Yeah, like did he write that joke, or was he reading off a prompter?
I thought
I
the
don't
joke was
know.
tame. Like I said,
I don't know.
I was comparing Regina Hall's joke and I thought it was in the same vein. It was tame.
Yeah, but regardless of whether he wrote it or not, it was a tame joke. He was comparing the visual look of her to GI Jane. That's it. It's no deeper than that. It's no deeper than that. And for
Yeah, but you
somebody to
see,
get up and get out of their chair and ruin their career and
yeah,
ruin their moment, are you going to seriously sit here and tell me that you feel that that was justified and that that made him look good?
no, not at all.
Because, like I said, that's not alpha male behavior.
No.
And you know what's so funny? This is why I love my sisters, man. I love my sisters because the sisters who I grew up with, the sisters whose hood, no fake tough guy shit.
Exactly.
They know that fake tough guy shit.
Yeah. They can
And
spot it a mile away.
all of my sisters, people from Brownsville, my chick from Brownsville said, "Oh, what is he doing? What is he doing? That was that extra shit." Yeah, you're right. That's not. I didn't say that it was ending his career. Of course, Will Smith's career is not going to be ended. I'm saying that he fucked up his moment
Yeah.
because now everybody's talking about this, and nobody's talking about the fact that he won an Oscar. Nobody's talking about the film King Richard, which was what my favorite film for the year.
Hmm.
That was my favorite film. I loved that film, and I loved
Yeah.
his performance, and he should have won. So that's why I said when at the beginning when I was talking about this, I said it just made me feel bad, man. I felt bad because I like Will Smith, and I thought that if anything, all of the stuff that people said about him holding up an Oscar at the end would have been validation.
Yeah.
But he chose to go another way. What's the thing? The guy from The Wire. He said you thought it was one way, but it's the other way, and he
But you
went
know
the other
what?
way.
Okay, so I was looking for some inspiration, some parallels, and I thought of the story of Samson and Delilah because this stuff is almost biblical. And it was, Delilah was the downfall of Samson. And I think this is what their marriage and their relationship has come to is that
Mhm.
choosing the wrong person to go the long haul with, you really have to be careful who you pick because she ain't good for him. It's clear she ain't good for him. That's clear. Will, if you notice, is going to put up and keep going and dig deeper and try harder. And that's his MO. She ain't about that.
She does not respect him, and that's obvious. It's
Yeah.
obvious to everybody except Will Smith.
And you shouldn't be with anybody that you don't respect.
It's obvious to everybody except Will Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is delusional, and she's so delusional that she's managed to delude him. And she's managed to infect everybody else with her delusion that they making it seem like she's some gentle flower that has to be protected at all costs because she has female pattern baldness.
Well, you see,
That's
she's
all.
smart. She
Female
built up,
pattern baldness. I know women who have alopecia, so don't come at me because I'll get them on here.
yeah, but she's smart. She built up her tribe for a reason. They come out and protect her. She knows why she needs protection. If you already have your man, why you need extra protection? So They shouldn't be together. That's just the bottom line. They're not working
Well,
out.
I'll put it this way. I don't care. Like I won't make the statement that they shouldn't be together because I don't care either way. I don't care about their relationship. I'm pissed that we're even talking about it.
It's a good learning lesson, though. Like I said, the Samson and Delilah thing all over this because Delilah was not the intended bride. She was second bride. Samson had a first wife, and I think she was taken away from him or given to somebody else. And then he ended up with Delilah.
But I think what we can draw from this, and I hope that I've been clear on this, that Hollip doesn't care about Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia. And I don't care about her feelings. I don't care about her struggle. I don't care about any of that shit because guess what? We're all struggling and we all go to comedy clubs and we all get made fun of. What makes her so goddamn different? Everybody got to protect her from a goddamn joke.
Because she lives in
Are
a
you
bubble.
kidding me? Are you serious? Are you going to sit up here and actually say that stupid shit?
Sad.
And I want somebody to be in the chat room, or you can either come up if you want to say it on the live. I can put you on here and defend that nonsense.
No, nobody's gonna come out with that.
He should have known she was struggling with her condition. Get the hell out of here, condition. She's losing her hair like most men are doing. There's a lot of men losing their hair, and nobody gives a crap about it.
Sad.
Nobody cares about male pattern baldness. Nobody.
No, but I mean, baldness has been a hairstyle in our communities for generations. People have been rocking bald, male and female. So, her rocking the bald wasn't like a shock to me when I first saw it.
And
I
keep in
like
mind,
it looked
let,
good.
let me throw an olive branch. Keep in mind, Jada Pinkett Smith is not an ugly woman.
Exactly.
She looks good with her short haircut. She looks good. I'll give her that. But fuck her. She looks
Well,
good. That's not the point. The point is, why should she be treated any special than anybody else? And the strong, independent woman should be the most pissed off.
well, I think the thing that I take from this too is they've come out and said that they had an open marriage, but it seems to be everybody's going after her because her business got out there, right? We don't know if Will had other relationships as well. No, I don't know.
Well,
Was
let's put
that
it this way: that we'll get on national TV and talk about, man, I just wanted to feel some good pussy for a change. You know what I'm saying? Did he do that?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. What's that? What's that? Bill Cheney? Is it Bill Cheney or Donald Rumsfeld? One of them who said that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Like, I'm not going to talk about what didn't happen or what could have. I'm talking about what did happen.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
What can we point to that we can actually say this happened?
Right.
So she's been disrespecting him. I haven't seen him disrespecting her like that. I
That's
haven't seen
true.
him going out parading other chicks around saying, "Oh, goddamn." Sometimes you just want a nice ass one for a change. You
Yeah.
know, like some.
Yeah.
I get tired of dealing with chicks that don't.
Yeah, but when a woman's coming out and doing the most like that and sharing the most, she's in crisis. She's trying to get out of that marriage, I think. She may not want to leave the financial security and, all the trappings, but there's something to me, the way I read it, it's like she's unhappy and she is going to make everyone around her unhappy. Sad, but it's true.
Yeah, I don't care. I really don't. Like my position in this is to what we should do is stop it with the conflation and start looking at things not from a emotional perspective, but
Yeah,
from a factual one. And like, let's just deal with the facts, and let's not. It's all right if you want to conflate and you want to perceive things a certain. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't act like your perception is reality.
true.
Because I'm totally cool with somebody saying, "Oh, damn, it seems like he was dissing her. It seems like he was disrespecting Will. It seems like he was making fun of her alopecia." I have no problem if that's your takeaway from the joke because it's subjective.
Yeah,
No problem with that. But don't act like your takeaway is facts. Your takeaway is your takeaway. It's your feelings. It's your interpretation. It's not facts. Just like mine's is not facts. My thing is I felt it wasn't a disrespect to her alopecia. I didn't even know about that shit. To be honest with you, I knew nothing about that. Nothing, because I don't follow her.
right,
So when people told me that, I was like, okay, whatever. That didn't seem like that was what the impetus of the joke was. It seemed like the joke was about her look compared to G.I. Jane. That was it. Right. Somebody
yeah,
said G.I. Jane reboot might resurrect her career. Yeah. I mean, she
yeah,
could play G.I. Jane too. She really could.
yeah. It's a very close resemblance, but
So, it's like people thought it was an insult. I didn't think it was an insult, but that's my point. My point is that it's subjective. And because it's subjective and there is no right or wrong perception about it, how do you say that Chris Rock was disrespecting her? You can't. If you go by the joke itself. And I read the joke. The joke says, "I love you, Jada. Can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2." That was a joke. That was a joke. That's the data. That's the facts. Everything else is your feelings, your interpretation of it, what you thought about it. But that wasn't what he said.
right.
And I'm
No,
tired. That just annoys me when I hear this, and that's why I can't watch TV because I hear things and it just bothers me. It's like, well, wait, Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife's alopecia condition. No, he didn't.
I know
That's a lie. You're just getting up there lying and creating a false narrative.
exactly. No, my thing is, each party in the relationship has a responsibility to each other. And speaking as a woman, I can't reiterate it enough. It's like there's so many ways that you can harm your relationship
Hmm.
by making a mountain out of a molehill. And specifically, we have to be careful as Black people because the world outside of our communities, wants our head on a chopping block sometimes. So we've got to be more protective of each other. And don't send your man out there to fight. What was it? The quote, your mom's quote, shysta business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nigga mess and shice the business.
I love that quote.
That's what my mom used to say that. She used to say she can't take no nigga mess or no shice the business.
Exactly. Like you got to handle your business, handle yourself, and handle your business. If your mouth went and got yourself into an argument, because that's usually from the female, it's going to be what we said, right? That's how we fight with our mouth. So handle your business. If you go poking your nose into other people's business, expect them to go poking their nose back into yours. You know,
Hmm.
you've got to be
Spirit
careful.
lifters
And
in the house.
finally,
Spirit lifters in the house.
but we've got to be protective. And you have a responsibility because the man's natural instinct is to protect. You don't send
Hmm.
him out there for every little thing. You make sure this is a life and, your life is being threatened when you need your man to protect you.
But you can't do that if you're a narcissist. Because it's not about you. It's not about him and his being protected. It's about you. It's about him honoring you. It's about him protecting you. Who gives a fuck about him? He can go out there and get killed, but at least he protected you. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that ain't
Um, could you read what she typed on the screen?
who spirit. Jada is Mysterio. She has crafted the perfect illusion to snare and keep Will under her thumb.
Wow, you must be mad delayed.
Yeah.
What's on your
Where am I?
screen now?
What I just read.
Wow, because I got all right. Let me read it because you are way behind. It says, Spirit Lister says, however, in terms of who Jada is, she is the mother of his children, and that makes her incredibly valuable, despite the fact that, as you say, she's a B-list actor. Yeah, of course. But the problem is, it actually that kind of validates my point. She's the mother of his children. She is valuable. So why the hell is she on a red table airing out their business, making him look like a fucking idiot?
Hmm.
Making him look weak and like a fool before the world, and then not even correcting it after she does it. Where's what statement has she made after he made a fool of himself on Oscar night? What has she done to just like say, oh man, they clowning my husband. What can I do to help make this? What has she said? The same thing she probably said after the Red Table interview. Nothing. And you know why? Because she doesn't respect him, which is crazy. And
Yeah.
that's why I bring up the be less actor thing. It's crazy that this woman does not respect this. This man is one of the highest paid actors in the past 20 years. This man's status and clout within the industry is he's A plus level celebrity. A plus level celebrity. And you feeling like, "Ah, I don't know. I think I can do better." Who are you? I mean, am I crazy? Am I the only person who feels this way? Who is Jada Smith? Am I missing something?
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's valuable to him because that's the mother of his children, but I'm just saying, just objectively, Will Smith can't do better than that. If they were to separate and leave, he couldn't do better than that.
You know,
If she was not connected to Will Smith, she would be another B or C list actress that nobody would care about. And that's
yeah.
a fact.
But I I want to throw out another theory. What if they're both narcissists?
You think? Wow. That's what
Let's go.
that's what I'm saying. I don't care whether they like I can't make the statement that he's not good for her and she's not good for him because I really don't care. And it's not for me to make that statement because I don't really care about their relation. I don't care who Will Smith is with as who he has as a wife or who she has as a husband. I really don't care, to be honest with you. So that I don't feel that that's my place to say that.
Hmm.
But what I will say is that when you put your business out for public consumption, don't play victim and get mad at people because they have an opinion about it. That's being a hypocrite.
Hmm.
And that's the part that angers me. I don't like hypocrites and I don't like this treating people of um with kids gloves when everybody else is getting beat up.
Yeah.
Everybody on that stage, when Chris Rock and Ricky Gervais and whoever you put on there, if Kevin Hart does an award show, trust me, he's going to talk about people.
Hmm.
Ricky Gervais does an award show, trust me, he's going to talk about people.
I
People
wonder
only
what.
think that it's justifiable for Will Smith to go up because he was talking about Jada. Well, what about Javier Bardem when he was talking about his wife or
Yeah.
made a joke involving her? How come he didn't get the right to go up there and hit Chris Rock?
I wonder what Richard Pryor would have said.
So
That would have been
why is it
interesting.
that these guys get special treatment and everybody else has to just fall in line? So I don't hear that. Like, so are we creating an environment where it's okay for you to go up and hit a comedian if you don't agree with the joke? Because here's something that I don't think anybody can argue with. If you're going to be a comedian and you don't want to offend people, then you can't be a comedian.
Hmm.
Should I say that again?
Yeah.
If you want to be a comedian but yet you don't want to offend people, then you can't be a comedian. It comes with the territory.
Right.
I'll quote Patrice O'Neill. Patrice O'Neill said both Unfunny and funny jokes are birthed from the same place. He doesn't defend the joke. The joke can be funny, the joke can be unfunny. That's irrelevant.
Right.
He defends your right to say the joke
Yeah.
because you don't know whether a joke is funny or not until you say it and somebody reacts to it.
Yeah, it's like that's what Dave Chappelle was defending too. It's the right to say it.
Right. The right to say the joke. Everybody gets caught up in whether they like Chris Rock, whether Chris Rock is corny or not. All of that is irrelevant. I don't like Mike Epps. Sorry. I know a lot of y'all might. I think Mike Epps is fucking corny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like his stand up. I don't like him as a comedian. But if Mike Epps was in that same position as Chris Rock, I'd be defending Mike Epps. Mike Epps has a right to be a comedian. Mike Epps has the right to do tours. Mike Epps has the right to feed his family and to make money. I would never take that away from him, even if I don't like his comedy.
Right.
Why is that such a difficult thing for people to do? There's people that don't like Chris Rock, so then when he got hit, they're like, yeah, hit that motherfucker. Really? If Mike Epps got slapped on the Oscars, as much as I dislike him, I would never say that.
But all the respect is going to go to Chris Rock now for taking that hit.
It is. And
Because
the
he
award,
acted like the mature individual.
and the award that the reason why he held it together is because he's friends with Questlove from the Roots.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the category that Questlove was going to win. So he went on and just kind of brushed over that and got through it because he wanted to give Questlove his moment.
Yeah.
So even though he was a victim of a physical assault, he still had the professionalism to go on with the show and give his friend that moment.
And that's maturity because he had to focus and he had to put aside whatever animosity he may be feeling or shock and focus on the moment in order to do that. That is maturity.
Right.
He wasn't carried away by emotion. He just shook his head like, what the fuck just happened?
Actually, you know what it is? Uh-oh. It's alpha behavior.
I knew you were going there.
It's alpha
Uh-oh.
behavior. It's being
Oh.
stoic. It's being unemotional and handling things.
Mm-hmm.
That's how alphas do. Alphas are not doing what Will Smith did, yelling and screaming their head off and putting on a show. It's like Will Smith did the equivalent of what a chihuahua does.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, empty barrels make enough noise.
That chihuahua does until a
Yeah,
dog comes up and really handles it. Then it goes
exactly.
running in the opposite direction.
Exactly. And that's why Jada doesn't respect him. You can't tell. And you're exactly right. She cannot expect or respect a man like Will. I love Will to death. I agree with you about his acting. I think he's a great person, but I find it hard to respect a man like that who can, he tends to be um, a little bit of a braggart. He's out there, he's loud, he has to be seen, he has to garner all the attention. Not really my type for men. Not really. Not feeling that.
But I want you to I want to get your comment on Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett she feels Will Smith is not good enough for her.
Yeah, and you know what I say to that? That's your choice. You chose him. That's the part that it's connected to us as women fighting to have agency. The reason you fight to have agency is you want to make your own choices. You chose him at the end of the day. You choose him every day for the last 20, 30 years they've been together. Okay? I know that they've had counseling because they had a therapist, Esther Perel, on one of their Red Table Talks. So they've delved down to the deep levels to figure out where they are, whether they should stay together or not. She chose him. She made a choice. She chose him. End of story. There's no discussion after that. Because if you keep choosing him and you don't make a different choice, then it's all back to you. There's got to be something there, or else she wouldn't stay.
But I wanna address the delusion that she thinks that the biggest star in Hollywood is not good enough for her.
I don't think that yeah, I don't really get that. I think it's more she's unhappy with self.
You
Jada's
think?
Yeah, Jada's issue comes from herself. It's not
You
about Will.
you think?
Because you know what? On that, here's another shocker. On that Red Table talk, there was an episode. I don't know if audience members saw it, but they were talking about it was Willow. Willow was talking about her experience with something. I forget what the tragedy was at the time. But she and informed Jada as well as Gammy that she ended up cutting herself. And they were in shock. They didn't know that the child was cutting herself. How is that possible?
It's
So,
very possible. They live in a bubble divorced from reality.
right. But
Oh
cutting?
wait, hold on. Somebody is asking me for the link to the show. Someone wants to come in. I'll let it be a surprise who it is. Go ahead. You can go on. What you were saying?
What about the cutting?
Yeah, the point you was making.
Yeah, and Willow spoke about her experience with her dad pushing her when she made the records. She had a bit, he thought she wanted a singing career. He kept pushing her, and she's like, "No, I've sang, I'm done. I want to go home."
Hmm.
And he was on his narcissistic, I'm going to push you, I'm going to make you a big star, blah, 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 blah. She just wanted to be a kid. So they've had their goals and objectives all mixed and twisted, and they're not exactly the family comes first family.
They're,
That's what
they
I've
they
seen.
are they are the they live in a bubble divorced from reality, and they have no clue what real people are,
Hmm.
because they're in a and I don't think that they're bad people. I don't want to
Not at
give the
all.
impression when I say fuck Jada, I'm not damning her to the cursed earth. What I'm saying is your feelings are not more special than anyone else's. That's the
Right,
point that I'm making.
right.
Sometimes, like I used to say online, I would go to people like somebody would just be out of line, right? And so I'll type, "Shut the fuck up." No offense, you just needed to hear that.
Hmm.
I would do that online because like some people just be feeling themselves and thinking that they shit don't stink, and somebody needs to let them know that yeah, it does. As a matter of fact, it spells very foul, and that's how I feel. That's why I said it. It doesn't mean that she's a bad person. It doesn't mean Will Smith is even a bad person. I like Will Smith. I necessarily dislike Jada Pinkett. It's like it's not personal to me.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is I don't like it when people pretend that um they're holier than thou.
yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like when you think that you're special. Let's think about the level of narcissism. We talk about Jada. What about the level of narcissism in Will? That he took a whole event and took a big gigantic turd and threw it into the punch bowl.
pretty much.
He made the
Yeah,
Oscars about him.
that's true.
And we talk about her being a narcissist. That's why I said when you said I wonder if he's a narcissist. I'm like, really? Or is that a discussion? He made the whole thing about him. And then after he does it, everybody's comforting him.
Yeah.
Oh, is your hand okay? Is your hand okay, Will?
Well, you know what? Do you remember when the first Aunt Viv, she got fired, and there was this whole rumor going on about it was Will why she got fired. And recently they had a sit down together like 30 years later,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
it
saw that.
turns out, yeah. So yeah, his head was being, filled with you're the greatest, you're this, you're that, and all these things. And then she gets fired for no reason. Her career tanks, and 30 years later,
Oh,
you're
there
doing
was
the
a
makeup.
reason.
What was the reason?
She was a dark-skinned female.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason. She wasn't. They didn't feel that she was mainstream enough, so then they went and got somebody more palatable.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Hey,
What's up, underrated mind?
You know what it is. Peace. Peace, everybody. Peace
peace.
to the chat.
Nice to have you.
Yeah,
Oh
man. Let's
dear.
hear. Let's hear what you have to say. What is your
S-
take on this?
So how I came across it, I was I was just chilling at night, and I think it was around like 3 in the morning. So a friend of mine hit me up. They was like, "Yo, you heard about what happened at the Oscars?" I was like, "What? I'm asleep." And then breaking news, Chris Rock gets slapped by Will Smith. And I just love the buildup of it though, because that's why I kept replaying it, where Chris Rock was talking about one couple, and he was like, that's why because if she loses, he can't win. And then everybody's just laughing and whatnot. And then he
Mm-hmm.
goes, and then that's when he says the joke to Jada, and then the and then the slap. I was like, oh shit. It was like a tennis racket. You know how they swing the tennis ball with the racket? Because he said, "Uh oh, Richard." I was like, Chris. He said, "Uh oh, Richard." He just smacked him with the.
As
What
it's
is
like,
it?
yo, Godfrey said something. I saw a Godfrey video, and he literally made me spit my juice out.
What he
He
say?
was talking like Paul Mooney, and he said Will Smith put some fresh prints on his face. And I was like, oh, this dude is crazy as hell, man.
God, oh man, God for your trip. But my thoughts on it after the whole thing, because I spoke to a few people, and it's pretty much the same as everybody else's. Like you, how up in a series, like Chris Rock is a comedian,
Hmm.
and that's just what is expected. And then on top of that, you look at not only just the Oscars, VMAs, BET, fucking CMT or whatever, like that's it's like a tradition basically, or that's just the environment where they do that. Even the ESPYS, and it's about sports.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking, well, I don't see the big deal in that. And then, then they bring up the whole, well, it because her hair and she has alopecia and stuff. But I'm like, he didn't even mention any of that.
No, no, and that's the whole thing that I was talking about. I don't mind interpretation. There's nothing wrong with that. People could have taken him as saying that. I have no problem with that. What
Yeah,
I have a problem with is you pretending that your interpretation is a fact.
right, right.
That's what I have a problem with, the conflation of things. Because look at the joke. I repeated the joke multiple times. The joke was, I love you, Jada. Can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2. That was a joke. And here we are.
Exactly,
Here we are.
exactly. I'm like, why? How we like have we forgotten like in previous, award shows where Charlie Sheen's HIV was mentioned, or
Mm-hmm.
or Art Usher when he had herpes? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we all of a sudden that's thrown out the window, but this is a big deal. It's like, come on, y'all,
No,
this
because
is.
Jada Pinkett is a precious flower that needs to be protected at all costs. Hell no. Hell no. Not
Well,
over here.
it kind of begs the question why she needs the protection so
She
much.
doesn't.
Mm,
No, but maybe she does for a reason, is what I'm suggesting.
oh dear.
We don't know what she's up to.
I was looking in the comment section, and one of the people in the comments was saying like, they should have played the Everybody Hates Chris song after he got slapped. And then the other one was Chris Rock should have said, well, that was an entanglement. Hope I don't feel that until August because of August Alsina. I was like, if he
I
said
see you
that
see our
shit,
thumbnail, right?
he would have been a legend. Like Chris Rock to me is already a legend just from this. Like I
Hmm.
just kudos to him. But if he had said that, that would have been, oh my gosh, a huge deal. And then on top of that too, you made a great point, Hollop, where Will Smith slapping him, people are going to talk about that and not him getting the Oscar. And
Right.
then Chris, if I was him, have a little Netflix special or something coming up very soon,
Hmm.
make some extra bread on top of that.
Oh yeah. Like
Well,
he just basically got both Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle paid because Dave Chappelle's going to have a Netflix special based on it.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh my gosh.
So he's giving a lot of comedians a lot of material.
A lot of material. I mean, already, even with podcasts and stuff, like they're talking about the whole Will Smith situation
Oh,
and,
can
and
I
things.
ask you guys? I want to ask you guys a question, and I want to ask the guys and everybody in the chat room a question. And this is not me being a wise ass because I know I can be, but I'm not. I really honestly don't know. Why do they keep saying that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett is in an open relationship when he didn't know that she was sleeping with that dude?
Mm,
Oh,
Could somebody answer that for me? Because I made the point. Oh well, she's sleeping. She slept with this dude, whatever his name is, August, whatever. And
yeah.
somebody said, well, they had an open relationship, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. Because if they had an open relationship, what was the controversy? Wasn't the controversy that he didn't know?
Didn't know. Right.
So
Hmm.
how is that open?
mm,
You know what? I think it goes back into the interpretation again because it was one live, I guess, when Will was talking about how he can't make Jada happy, or they
Mhm.
were both talking about it. And so they're saying, well, we're just going to find our happiness or whatever. And I guess that's how they took it, where, oh, okay, that's what they mean by
Well,
they
wait,
can't
they're
make each
saying
other
in the
happy.
chat room that he was aware. So if he was aware, I don't understand what the issue is.
I don't know. Your question reminds me of that biblical question about after Adam and Eve, how did they, who else was on the earth? That's what it reminds me. Who else was on the earth after Adam and Eve?
So
How
wait,
did
wait,
they?
wait, 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 wait. Let's back this up. While it's in my head, I got to get this out. Let's back this up.
Hmm.
So you mean to tell me he knew that she was sleeping with his son's friend and he got on television to talk about it?
Well, this is Hollywood. It sells. That's what I'm telling you. It's warped. It's distorted. They are using this at the time maybe to be relevant.
Wait, wait, let me back this up again because I got to get this in my head.
Hmm.
He knew that his wife was sleeping with his son's friend and he decided to get on television. And so he knew this red table thing was something that him and Jada came up with to talk about publicly.
I'm not. I can't. I can't see how he didn't know.
I believe like okay, I think so
Well,
in
now
my
I'm
opinion.
getting conflicting because somebody's saying that he didn't know. There's people in the chat saying that he knew. There's people saying that he didn't know. I'm really seriously confused about whether he knew or that he didn't know. Because if he knew, I don't understand what the controversy is. I thought the controversy would be that he didn't know.
That's what I'm
So who? All
saying.
right, now Fatty Black is saying August Alsina was not Jaden's friend. Then who the fuck was he? Wasn't he somebody's friend?
So apparently, August Alsina, he was I don't know, some kind of Jada Pickett was August's therapist, I guess, because they had a little TV show segment where he was talking about his disease and how he fell out during a concert on stage and going through recovery. And I don't know. I guess from then on, you know,
How did
it
he
be-
get connected with the Smith family?
Through Jaden, the son.
So what part did I get wrong?
The part that Will didn't know. Like he's coming on TV like he
No,
didn't
how did
know. I'm
he? All
like,
right, he got to them through Jaden, right?
yeah.
All right, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't know. I don't know anything about this, so I'm just coming in totally ignorant. So I'm just letting everybody know that. That's the reason why I'm asking these questions.
yeah. So Patrick, he was saying that he's been around the family and she was mentoring him. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like
That's
she
that.
was
I
a
remember that
mentor.
conversation. Yeah. Mentoring. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Right.
fine,
Right.
but you don't. All right, can I just be mentored by Jade? Like you have to be introduced to somebody, right? Don't you have to be introduced to the fan? Like, oh man, I feel like being mentored by Will today. Let me just go and get Bill Smith as a mentor. Somebody introduced them to the family.
Somebody.
So that was Jaden, right?
Right, but
Yeah.
there's also the thing that says Will was the one that agreed to let August stay at the home, the family compound. So that's why
Okay.
I'm saying he must have known.
Really?
Don't tell me he didn't know. He knew.
Yeah. I think
Will
so.
gave him his blessing to be with Jada according to August. So then, all right. Now the red table discussion really confuses me because when I saw that thing, that dude did not look, he looked hurt to
Well,
me.
okay. So to backtrack, there, whoever commented on that, they're right because August Alsina was on an interview with Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club, and that's where he mentioned, Will gave him his blessing and stuff. And to me, how I see Will was hurt is because of the image. So let's say that they did agree on the open relationship, but it turns out that, August couldn't keep his mouth closed. So then it became this big hoopla. And now, Will has to come up with some way to kind of dress it up, I guess, to make it seem
Damage
like,
control. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's where
But
I could
all
see he's
right.
been hurt.
Yeah, because his
please,
business was in
please
the
bear,
streets, like Vic
please
just
bear
said.
with me on this. Please bear with me. I'm trying to make sense of this.
Siri.
He was
We're
hurt
back to
because
the
his business was in the street, but the motherfucker let his wife come on a red table interview to talk about a situation that he already knew was going on.
diabolical, right?
Yeah.
This
You know what?
Hollywood.
I'm done. I'm done. I don't even know. Like this makes no fucking sense.
It's not supposed to make sense.
Why?
Ah!
Why? So in other words, I was making this analogy in the beginning, and I didn't think it would apply to this situation. But in other words, Will Smith went to the water park and then got mad because he got wet.
Listen, I think Love Nigel just said it. No non-disclosure signed clearly.
See, somebody that this like he who greets
Ugh.
fire says Will didn't know. That's why. Wait, he said that's why he was crying. Why would he cry if he knew? That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
That's
Will's
what
an
I was
actor.
thinking. I was thinking that he did not know, but
Will,
they're saying
it,
that he gave approval of this, so he knew well. He knew about this. That his only problem is that other people found out about it.
yeah,
Okay, so then that's all I need to know. If that's what it
okay,
is, that's all I need to know.
yeah, that's
That's
more likely
all I need
story.
to know.
Because he's an A-lister, not a B-lister. He's an A-lister, so that is critical.
Right. And if
He
if I was
cried because he was embarrassed.
if I
Hmm.
was
That's what Nigel
August,
says.
I would have kept my mouth closed, kept doing what I do because right, even though Jada is a B-list, actress, she still has connection, and obviously Will is one of them because she's married to the guy. So,
Hmm.
August could have played it differently where his album could have been promoted better, he could have got some more futures or just other shit, but he just he got in his feelings. I think
Yeah, not no to the sunken place says we're speculating now. I have no choice but to speculate because none of this shit makes any fucking sense to me.
yeah.
I'm definitely speculating. I don't know what the hell is going on because I was under the impression that this dude did not know, and that's the reason why he was so hurt on that show when she was talking about it. But if his
Nah,
issue
man.
was, goddamn, I knew, but why you gotta tell everybody? Then he's even a bigger idiot than I thought.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
I, that's why I'm so happy that I'm not invested in this stuff. Like I will admit, I was hurt that this happened only because I felt it ruined his moment.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
how can I care more about your moment than you do?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
You know?
Good point.
So and at the end of the day, like Fatty Black says, the entire situation is irrelevant. Yeah, basically, because at the end of the day, how does it affect any of our lives?
Right.
Exactly.
It really doesn't. Like how we feel about them, you can feel let down. It's like when your team doesn't win for that season. Okay, you feel bad about it, but did it really affect your life in any substantive way?
Mm-hmm.
He
So
can't win.
yeah.
They have to make that. Oh my gosh, it just felt like a movie because just the build up to it.
Now, do y'all now you see all the different points of views in the chat room? That now y'all know why I'm confused because
Right.
everybody's saying a bunch of different. Now he says, nah, he was okay with Jada mentoring him, but not sleeping with him.
Mm.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
either,
It
but
goes back to my point. Protect each other.
yeah, that mess was something else. Like, what did you think? Y'all probably already talked about it, but what did you think when he like he received the Oscar right after that? I was like, oh, I was like, what if the production team was telling Chris, like, you know what, just the envelope says, I don't know, Robert Shapiro or whatever, but just say Will won the Oscar, like, he's the best actor, like in the earpiece. I would have been rolling if that were to happen. Because it's so quiet, but then the production team's like, what the hell do we do? Just give him the Oscar. Shit, he earned it this time. All right, Chris, here's what we're going to do. When you open the envelope, it's going to say somebody else's name, but just say Will Smith. So that's why Chris, when he got slapped after that, he was like, oh, okay. It was the production team.
The conspiracy.
Orchestrated.
And then like, here's what made it so funny for me. When Will Smith was giving his little speech, he was like, Denzel just told me not too long ago, when you're high, that's when the devil comes after you. And then he put the camera on Denzel and he just chewing his gum. I'm thinking, what if Denzel was like, nigga, I did not say that shit. While he's chewing his gum. I said Denzel got that equalizer look.
I did not say that.
Nigga, I did not say that. He got that equalizer look, looking straight.
Manchurian candidate. I told you. You notice how Denzel's like sly on the side and like he came in at the right moment with that comment?
Yeah. I said, well, you funny as hell. Denzel had that equalizer moment. Like, nigga, I did not say any of that. I said, if that would have happened, that would have been hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh dear. And then like they showed a clip where after the whole thing happened, it was Denzel and Tyler Perry like speaking to him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to calm him down, make sure his hand was okay.
That dude slapped him with the 5 stones, the
Yeah,
gauntlet.
make sure his hand was okay, that it wasn't still stinging.
Oh my gosh.
Calm him down. You're going through a
Yeah.
lot. You're going through a lot hitting that man.
For
Mm-hmm.
real. Like I said, I mean he turned red in from the movie I, Robot. Because an iRobot, when a robot's good, they're blue, but when they turn, red, that's when they turn evil.
Yeah, that's when you gotta look out. That's when the ass kickings commence.
Yeah, I was.
I would I would recommend everybody watch The Manchurian Candidate.
I was like, I wouldn't have been surprised because we didn't see it on camera, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Jada had that Thanos snap where she just snapped her finger and then Will was like, "Wah, wah," he got off the stage.
Well, I mean, that's not too far from the truth. That's not too far from the truth, man.
Hollow, you remember the Boondocks?
Oh yeah, the nigga moment.
Yeah, wait, no, it was that one episode when Tommy, the one that was married to the white woman,
Hmm.
and he was in court and he was on the witness stand and he was speaking proper, but then he got possessed by Stink Meaner. I forgot his
Oh
name.
yeah.
And he
Mhm.
was like, "Ruh, ruh, what did you say, nigga?" Will Smith. So she snapped her fingers. Will was like, "Ruh, ruh." He went on the
Stink meaner came out.
stage.
Bitch ass nigga.
Ah!
My cheeks hurt, okay?
He had the stinger to come out. And look, then we got Puffy over here. Puffy trying to keep the peace. I'm like, bro, you from Bad Boy Records, man. Sit down.
Say
You're
you
the
probably
last
the reason
person.
why this turned into the Source Awards. Go sit your
Right.
ass down.
I'm like, isn't the rapper Mace giving you a diss track recently? Like, come on, man. We're gonna talk about this afterwards.
I wonder if is it gonna be the next beef. I think is probably gonna be the DL Kanye beef, right?
Oh, with who with Pete? Pete
DL
Davidson?
Hughley and
DL Hughley. Oh
Kanye
yeah.
West.
Oh my gosh.
They going at each other.
But
I know about this stuff on a surface level because I really don't fucking care about it.
yeah.
But I hear about it. It's out there in the atmosphere. Like when I go on my timeline, I'm gonna see it regardless. So that's the reason why I know about most of this stuff. That's why I was so confused about the whole red table thing.
Yeah.
So all right. So is the consensus that Will knew? Because it seems like most people are saying that most
There's
people
a
in their chat room is saying that he knew. So is that the consensus that he knew?
there's
Let's see.
some in the room. Yep.
Look, put a 1 if he knew, put a 2 if he didn't know. We'll see
Yeah,
how
1
this
if he knew, 2 if he didn't. Because
I
if he
can't
knew,
I'll
oh
start it
God,
off.
if he
He
knew, then that
knew.
makes a lot of sense why he went to an award ceremony and got offended by a joke. Now, within that context, it makes a perfect sense.
Hmm.
I couldn't stand them red table talks. Just looking at the trailers.
I never
Because
saw one of them.
Asiri, you probably saw one of them, have you?
Of course.
Like how when Jada she speaks, she's like circling around the table with her hands, talking about we
Mhm.
need to perpetuate and and heal. This is a
Mhm.
healing moment while she's circling the table. I'm like, what
Yep.
the fuck?
Yep.
Let me show you how batshit crazy all of these motherfuckers are. Let me give you a sample. This is what what's his name? What's the dude? August.
Uh-huh.
August. This is what he says. He put out a tweet.
Yeah.
This is his tweet. I'm gonna read this tweet to y'all.
All right.
August, whatever. Choose peace, trusting that life's intricate puzzle pieces are all forming together for the greater good and mastering of the seasonally, sometimes chaotic nature of your life's art piece that's being formed and painted by birthing life to your internal masterpiece. Grown through external chaos, metamorphosing, alchemy, dark turn to light, and beauty within. Then turn master, peace Piece, shown without form from your life's own whimsical and colorful art piece, being so co-created and displayed through living while / after being broken to pieces / pieces. I'm a walking billboard and network simply desiring to televise and broadcast. Love. Love, the grace and healing, embrace of God, good music that's healing with a little bit of nasty. Cause the art of sharing temples can too be healing. My Nola mix with my H-Town background of top tier drip and flavor and bag secure abundantly for the ones I love while trying to keep a clean heart out here. That's it. What the
Oh.
fuck did he just say? These motherfuckers are out of their goddamn mind.
Mama!
And
Hey.
somewhere, some nigga is going, yo, man, that shit was deep.
Right. It's always that one dude.
Yo, that nigga deep, man. Your word.
Damn.
Oh my God, man.
I couldn't take August when he was at that interview with Angela Yee. This dude's hair was red, and then at the ends of it was blonde. I said, "Oh hell nah." So-
No, he doing the Dr. York on him.
got
Yo,
on a
you see
beanie
Dr.
cap.
York. One time you see Dr. York, he's 5'7", the next time you see him, he's 6'1".
He's 6'1".
Oh, you're killing me tonight.
Hey, this magical Negro shit is really getting to me. Like, what did that dude say? Does anybody know what he just said?
I don't know. That's some corporate shit.
It's called
All of them
You know what?
motherfuckers is out of their
No,
mind.
I'll
All
tell
of
you
them.
what that is. That's called the narcissistic word salad. Look it up.
Yeah, I know what that is.
All right, word salad.
Oh
Ronan
dear.
said this guy is August is on some type of in tune higher level celestial philosopher. Yeah. Something like that.
That got me sick just from hearing it. I
Makes
felt like
perfect sense why that was the guy that she felt like made her feel good. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because the guy she's looking for doesn't exist.
But
I feel like my IQ points just dropped after that.
the fact that Jada Pinkett thinks that she must really, I guess like delusion must be a good thing. It must be a good thing.
Maybe it
Maybe
must be.
that's her comfort zone.
So I guess who's she gonna be married to after Will Smith? The Rock?
Oh no.
Like who
No,
who could she
Jason
find
Momoa
as
is
a
free.
higher status than him?
Jason Momoa is free now.
Okay. He just left one tired mix site. Why would he go to another one? Some old tired mix site, and he gonna go and get another old tired mix site? That dude wants something new.
I don't think The Rock would do it because he can already smell what The Rock is cooking. Can you smell what the Oscar's cooking? Look, he gonna sniff in between her legs. Can you smell?
All
La la
right.
la 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 la. What The Rock is cooking. This August guy sounds like a bootleg version of the Living Tribunal from Marvel Comics. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Don't
Yeah.
let it be Ric Flair. Woo!
Wow.
Oh shit! Oh dear, this shit funny as hell. This shit is funny.
Well,
as
I mean,
hell.
that's all we can really do. We just got to keep it for our entertainment because at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. It doesn't really change anything. We still got to get the hell out of this country. This shit is going to hell in a handbasket. And I guess that's what the whole point of the show is. Stop worshiping
much.
celebrities. Stop
Amen.
I've heard, I don't know how many people have told me that Kanye West is deep. Kanye West is not deep. Kanye West is a freestyler. That's what he does. He just says whatever comes off the top of his head. Like most freestylers. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. He doesn't have a clue. The man married Kim Kardashian. Why are we having this conversation?
Oh shit.
Why are we even talking about this?
Yeah.
That's like listening to somebody talk about land infrastructure nation, you know, because the black man, da 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 da. You know, it's who you married to? Oh, Ruth Buzzy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ruth Buzzy.
Where do you pull up these obscure people from all of a sudden?
Like,
Who thinks of Ruth
that's how, but that's how him being married to Kim Kardashian should be. It's like that. It's like, what?
I haven't heard her name in over 40 years.
Exactly. And I want that. That's the reaction that it should be when you hear that he married Kim Kardashian. It should be just as
Lift my
stark
leg
as
up.
that. Like Betty White, what?
God. I don't know any black people that actually know that name, Mark.
Exactly.
You are.
That's the reaction I was going for.
Ruth.
Like, what? What? Who?
Damn.
Oh dear. I was just like, they laughed at everybody else's jokes, but then
Until they got to them.
Right.
And can we just establish this as a fact that Jada Pinkett Smith is the biggest snowflake in the world with no sense of humor? Can we establish that?
Yeah, I never.
The biggest snowflake in the world.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, narcissists are snowflakes, right?
And that old soft speaking bullshit that she did when it was the Oscars So White moment, when she's sitting up there in her lush apartment, her lush house, with the soft serenading voice, that earnestness to her voice, speaking real and it's slow. Did she boycott the Oscars this year?
No.
Why didn't she boycott the Oscars this year? Oh, gee, we'll be wondering, scratching our heads for a while for that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was she boycotting if it's not even her Oscar, though?
Anyway.
That was a good.
This has been real, y'all. This was nice. I'm glad we got a chance to just get this out of our system, because I remember when this first happened, I was telling Erica that I was really going through withdrawals because I couldn't talk. Couldn't talk to her. Couldn't talk to her. And she was at work and I was home scratching, going crazy. Because I could not talk to anybody about this, and I was trying to get it off my chest. So finally we did this show. I think that we killed all of the conflations, I believe.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, I think all the conflations have been killed. So if anybody wants to listen to this, then they can, use this as a, bookmark or timestamp, whatever portion you want to have an argument against the conflation that's going around. And so I think it accomplished what it was supposed to. So
yeah, definitely.
Peace to everybody. I hope you had a enjoyable live stream with us. We had a good time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Should do it again. Underrated, came in at the right time.
Yeah, man. Oh. Thank you for coming in with the alley. We threw the alley-oop and you threw it down.
And keep my wife's name out your fucking
mouth. That's right. Don't be a Captain America Negro, militant integrationist, and Black Power American. Join the BAIO. Motherfucker.
Uh-oh. Stinkman. Whoa.
Join the BAIO, y'all. Stink Meaner won't be there. I promise. He won't be there.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Anyway, y'all, have a good one. Peace to y'all. Peace to the chat. Holler at y'all later.
Bye.